Thank you for joining us for today's session of Contramundum without Gary, but we're going to talk about Elon Musk, the big, beautiful bill, and all of that and more today on Contramundum. So welcome, and thank you for joining us.
The American Revolution, in other words, is never finished. It must always be renewed.
Greater love than this hath no man, than that he lay down his life for his friend.
What if it's not envy?
We must take back our cities, and take back our culture, and take back our country. God bless you, and God bless America.
We're back.
We're back.
Gary has been fired.
All right.
He's been
Gary
executed.
5 is gone.
He's been arrested and deported.
Yeah, Gary 6 is apparently in the cloning vat and ready to be released soon, but not yet. So
Yes.
we're without a Gary right now. But yeah, so a lot has taken place, Mr. Engel.
I should
in
just
the last,
say he's on paternal leave, actually.
Are we allowed to say that? I don't
Yes.
think we're allowed to say that.
We're allowed to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, he said we could say that. He's probably watching right now.
Yeah, he might be. Like, if I know anything about, okay, so we've had 7 babies, man, and you've had 4. This might upset some of the lady folk out there, but from the guy's perspective, it's really boring.
Yeah. He's listening.
It's boring, man. You got nothing going on. You know what I did?
He's like the American Psycho meme, walking through the house with his earbuds in.
Yeah, like
listening.
I just sat on my computer and watched movies the whole time.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah,
You've had 7 kids. That's why you've watched everything.
Yeah, that's right. You you just read a book or something nerdy like that. But no, man, like it's because like it isn't until like the last 45 minutes or an hour until like the action happens.
Yeah.
Then you got to be there. You got to be ready. Like your wife's gonna be like, it's crazy. Like my wife, she's pretty strong for a lady.
This is
but
parental advisory.
it is. She's pretty strong. But like she nearly broke my hand with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't ready for that. After subsequent children, I was totally ready for.
I gotta hide this, man. I'm just not comfortable.
Yeah, no, don't just leave the martini. Have a sip.
I'm not gonna have a sip.
CJay's never had a martini before. I said because we're back. We're so back.
I'm a Baptist.
I'll leave it right here. You are not a Baptist.
On the drinking issue.
On the drinking issue, get you some Welch's grape juice. All right. President Nixon would not approve of you not
I know.
enjoying a martini. So anyway, no, that's why we broke out the martinis, because it's time to celebrate. Right? President Trump has been liberated. It's a big win.
It is a big win. Yeah.
It's total CJay vindication.
Trump tweeted out yesterday that he's getting rid of Tesla.
Like how? Like
well, he said his Tesla, but I just say he's getting rid of Tesla. It's like I'm thinking about getting rid of my Tesla.
Nobody wants those stupid things anyway. Like isn't that what he posted that, right?
It's like the most Trump thing you can do.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like if you're mad at someone, just take a dump on their product.
It's just like just go guns blazing on every single possible thing.
I never liked him anyway.
And like the craziest part of this is like apparently, according to Elon, apparently he knew that Donald Trump was going to Jeffrey Epstein's island as a pedophile and all these kinds of things. And it's like, dude, you were like best friends with him until 5 minutes ago, and that didn't bother you for a second.
That was weird.
Yeah, well, so there's some lore here. There's some deep Elon Musk lore here. Do you remember, I guess maybe like 10 years ago, when there were those kids in like Indonesia or something that were trapped in a cave? It like flooded and the entrance to the cave.
Yeah.
And like some guy, like Musk was gonna like try to build a submersible to go rescue the kids. Well, before he could do that, just some scuba diver went in and risked his life and swam in there and rescued all these kids. And
I remember that.
Like you maybe remember that. But what you don't remember is that like Elon Musk got really mad and was like crapping all over this guy in his like moment of glory, being a like internationally known hero, and accused the guy of being a pedophile.
Mm.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. So it's like That's a club that he has in the bag when he goes on a ketamine binge. Is anybody you don't like, you're just gonna use the P word on him.
So that's what's going on.
Yeah.
He just went crazy, just like Trump
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
He just went crazy.
Well, yes. I mean, he went crazy because like Trump is threatening his, the EV. I mean, it's hurting his pocketbook,
Mhm.
right? He's threatened the EV mandate and things like that. And then also
He's really mad about the bill.
he's mad about he's also mad about how Trump pulled out a guy that a SpaceX guy from being the head of NASA.
Mhm.
He's not happy with that. But ultimately, I think it all goes back to what happened on Christmas Eve of this past year.
Yeah.
When I'm not going to read the tweet because it's very vulgar and it's a family show. We
Mhm.
try not to. We advise our guests
Yes.
not to curse, but sometimes they do. They're not used to that. They're not used to being on a family show like ours. But then so I can't read Musk's tweet. But a very vulgar tweet about how H-1Bs are awesome, they're better than Americans, and how our country is an economic zone, basically. And that shows you that the Silicon Valley tech elite and that whole world, it runs H-1Bs. It runs on importing hundreds of thousands of these guys into our country to undercut American workers.
He was moving his facility to Texas, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is made in America. These are all made in America." He takes a picture of his production team,
and it's all guys from the subcontinent. Yeah,
you're like, "What?"
You know what's not made in America? Your workers. That's not.
So yeah, so he's mad at this bill because this bill is basically, in my opinion, this bill is an immigration Trojan horse.
Yes,
that's what it is.
Yeah, with roles, our guys on the inside.
The roles have been reversed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's what's happening.
Well, because this is the thing. Every libertarian in the world is freaking out about this. I gotta open up the comments. Hold on. Here's our guys. Okay, they're all here. Okay, I can barely see them. We don't have Gary here, so I can't even see any of the comments. So this was a fight between Stephen Miller and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it was. And the point I'm making, every libertarian, the budget, we're going to go bankrupt the federal debt, trillions of dollars over the debt ceiling. And this is the issue, right? America's going to go broke regardless.
America is broke.
It is broke.
Yes.
It went broke in 1973.
Yeah, you can't stop it.
Right. It's done. We went broke in the 60s, and we defaulted for the first time in 1972, right?
Well, everyone's first time, but yeah,
everyone's mad at Richard Nixon for that, but it's how's he gonna do? We're just gonna lose the Cold War. Cool. No, but it's been in a state of default. It's just it has a gun to the head of every country in the world to use the dollar.
Correct.
And
that system actually ended in 2008.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And what replaced it was the rise of shadow banks and dark money. And
that's why you had Greece and Iceland and all of these smaller European countries that are super broke.
They've literally been holding
all
this
the debt.
Western world order together with tape and glue for 20 years.
Yeah.
And the whole thing's unraveling.
Yes, right.
And it has nothing to do with whether we raise the debt ceiling or not. But we might as well get something out of it. And that's what Stephen Miller is pushing. So anyone that's concerned about solvency issues, debt crisis, that's baked into the cake. There's no avoiding it. You can't avoid it. It's over.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? You want to pay off the federal debt. All right, you get rid of all discretion, every penny of discretionary spending, and you're still over budget, right?
Yeah.
You're still over what you bring in. And the American people actually, just in terms of federal taxes, not counting state or local thing, they are taxed more now than any point in human history that human beings have been taxed, right? It's the amount of money the federal government brings in is massive. I mean, this is why it was a plank in the Kamala Harris campaign to tax unrealized capital gains, right? Which is insane, totally insane, right? Because they're trying to squeeze even more blood from the turnip, but they're concerned about the debt. They just want to have more money, and punish everyone. But the issue is like you get rid of all the spending, all the want spending, and just go to the needs, right? The mandates, like mandatory spending, defense spending, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. That's already right. You're already going to be over budget. Plus, like Social Security is going to be out of money in 12 years.
Yeah,
you know this?
It's already borrowing money from other federal agencies.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's already broke. Like, so like I don't. But
and no one is going to run. No one other than maybe Thomas Massey.
Yeah.
Right. No one's going to go to Congress.
Yeah, no one's
and
serious
say,
about it.
I want to cut Social Security because you know what's going to happen. Every single boomer, right? You could take even like the boomers who care about abortion or care about whatever their single issue is, or the ones that care about Israel or what, like you name their pet issue. You tell them we're cutting Social Security.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to get a check anymore.
It's over.
Right. Whoever is against that, they are going to vote for most of them, nearly all of them. Right. You instantly turn all those people into a single issue voter. Keep spending money on me, keeping me alive.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, you know that we spend like $200 billion. I think someone could fact check me. They can fact check me in the comments.
I'll fact check.
It's like $200 billion a year on kidney dialysis in the United States. 200 billion, like taxpayers spend that, not people out of pocket. $200 billion.
124.
124. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, that was 2019. So all right, 200.
It's probably 200 now.
Yeah.
$200 billion on kidney dialysis. Right. You know who needs kidney dialysis? Not 23-year-olds.
Yeah.
For the most part,
it's immigrants.
It's old people.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, other than like the random case of somebody who's got like kidney disease as a child, right? It's for old people, right? All the stuff that we do, all this medical spending. The reason why healthcare is 20% of the American economy. You think that's like a free market? It's the free market. No, absolutely not. Right? We are robbing future generations to keep the old people alive another year or two. And maybe it sounds callous to talk about it that way. But that's what it was. I mean, that's what 2020 was. We're going to shut down the planet. So, right, old people and very fat people stay alive.
Yeah, the medical system though can't profit on younger people like the
young healthy people. No, of course not.
No, and it's not even for medical reasons, but also younger people are they're interested in taking care of it themselves.
Yeah,
they don't trust the medical establishment. So,
well, and they're not going to and that's the thing. Like young people don't vote for the most part, but you know who does vote? People that are dependent on the government, right? Old people, right? They're going to vote. Yeah. And then like, it's always well, I paid into Social Security. Yeah, you did. But most people didn't. And not at this rate. And we're not going to see a dime of that. We're not going to see a single penny of that. And do you think, well, we turned 60, I mean, I'm going to be 40 next year. So 25 years from now, right? You think Social Security is still going to be around and I'm going to get my $200 check? Right. No, I mean, I make more, making jokes on Twitter than that. Right. Or at least I did until now Elon's not going to pay me a penny. Now he's not going to pay me nothing. But man, it is so bad. And so people have no idea. Right. They people like the Thomas Masseys of the world think like if we just tighten our belts and I'm going to wear my little debt clock. And it's like, I like the guy. I really like him a lot. I mean, I like anybody that has principle, but there comes a point where this like autistic obsession with your principle, actually you become the enemy. Yeah. Right. Well, you stand in the way. Like it's like, if your house is being broken into by 10,000, foreign hordes standing outside of your house, ready to break down the door. Yeah. Right. Are you going to argue with your wife about the family budget? Yeah. Right. Are you gonna get a big argument about how much you're spending on Netflix that month? Yeah. Right. Like, exactly. No, you're gonna end, like, well, you're gonna max out the credit card and have a drone shoot you like 1,000, like a 50 cal. Right. That's what you're gonna do. Right. Like, that's what you're gonna do if your house is being attacked. And that's what this bill is doing. Right. Right. You're maxing out the credit card to buy guns. Then people are like, okay, then the response is, well, why don't they have a bill that slashes the budget and takes care of immigration problems? Why don't we just give everybody $1 trillion? Yeah. Exactly. Why don't we make the minimum wage $1 trillion an hour? Why doesn't the South just secede again? Yeah.
Like these are not political realities.
No, exactly. It's
Yeah.
fantasy land.
Yeah. It's like you don't know how Congress works. Congress
Yeah.
doesn't go in and vote to slash their budgets.
Yeah, think about your congressman that you have that represents you, right? Think about going to him and saying, "Hey, man," or if you've got Nancy Mace, "Hey, Miss Mace, do you think any of those people are like, yeah, I'm gonna vote to cut everything. That's gonna get me reelected."
Yeah. No,
Right.
they're not going to cut. Congress can't cut. The purpose of Congress is to loot the American people.
Yeah,
That's it.
That is the point.
Yes.
The purpose of a system is what it does, and that's what Congress does.
Mhm.
And people don't get that.
Yeah.
Right. They not only have
Congress doesn't represent you.
No.
They represent special interests, and their job is to allocate funds to their real constituency.
Yeah. Let's just ban the lobbyists. Let's just have term limits. It's like
that's
all-
not politics.
Yeah.
That's dreaming.
yes,
You know, it's
exactly.
a hallucination.
And I got a bunch of like people attacked me. They attacked me this week. Because I
That's how
said
you get your payouts.
that's right. Yeah, I want all political power to be vested in this single person of Donald J. Trump. Right, abolish the courts, abolish Congress, just let him rule as an emperor. And people are like, no. I mean, I'm doing it, tongue in
Tongue in
cheek,
cheek.
thought experiment. But like think of that thought experiment though.
What you're not doing is you're not saying, okay, the year is 1780. We're going to draw up a constitution, and your ideal system is a total dictator.
With Donald Trump at the
Like
with a guy like him.
That's again, that's not how politics works. In
No.
light of the fact that Congress exists to loot the American people, what are we going to do? And I think this bill goes a long way.
Yeah,
in,
Congress exists to loot the American people, and the courts exist to stop
yes,
the executive
yes,
from carrying out the will of the American people.
correct.
So what should we do in that situation?
Yes,
Right? Come on.
I think this bill is exactly what should be done
Exactly.
because for months, all of Twitter has been saying to Trump, take the Andrew Jackson method, ignore the courts.
Yeah.
Well, this bill actually provides the pathway to do that.
Yeah.
Because Donald Trump could stand up right now. He could say, okay, I'm going to ignore the courts. Then what happens?
Yeah.
They hold him in contempt of court. Then what
Yeah.
happens? He gets
They
impeached.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
But what does this bill do? There's a 57 word sentence about 500 pages into the bill.
Do you have it in front of
I don't have it in front of me, but I
come
read
on.
it because I was being autistic about this
you?
last week.
Were you on
Yesterday.
ketamine?
I was not. I have not been punched by Stephen Miller.
Do you think that's what happened?
Maybe. I'd like to.
I like to think that's what happened too.
Yeah.
I was when we had the fellow from John Birch Society
Yeah.
on yesterday to record an interview, and he brought up Joseph McCarthy. And one of the most fascinating things to me is that Joseph McCarthy's attorney, like chief legal counsel, and like the guy he would use for questioning in all the committees and things, was a man named Roy Cohn,
Mhm.
right? This New York, we're feet are touching. This New York Jewish lawyer. He's also gay, died of AIDS.
Many such cases.
And but it was just this like total pit bull, and like also like very right wing, right? He's working for McCarthy. Do you know who Donald Trump's personal attorney was from like 1973 to 1993,
Roy
whatever?
Cohn.
Roy Cohn.
Yes.
And so Stephen Miller, in my mind,
This
is like the reincarnation of like of a not gay Roy
Yeah.
Cohn.
yeah.
Right. This autistic Jewish pit bull lawyer
Mhm.
that is just monomaniacally obsessed with this one thing.
Yeah.
And will stop at nothing. So like, yeah, maybe
No,
he did punch him in the
Trump's-
face.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what happened, man. Imagine that.
Dude, well, Stephen Miller has been like he's like shaped his entire life around immigration.
yeah.
So do you think he's gonna let some like nerd like car builder get in his way
yeah.
right now
Like,
on this
I
issue?
just imagine like the scene in the Oval Office, right? America's not an economic zone.
Yeah. Well, the funny, like that's the thing, right? It's on Elon's right eye.
Yeah.
And Stephen Miller's left-handed,
Oh.
and it's like,
Oh.
who else could have done it?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
so you really deep.
it's
You did a
right-
deep dive on
It's
this.
right here on the corner of his right eye.
Yeah.
That,
Oh,
it was
that's
like
incredible.
a total left hand
You got him.
right there. Boom.
Yeah. You got him.
He did, and he's stepping down. Tesla's on fire.
Yeah, Elon probably said something anti-Semitic. That's what it was, right? That's what he should claim.
He
If it
should
ever
do
comes
that,
out,
yeah.
he should be like,
Steven's the master at narratives. He really is.
That's what I mean. He can just. I mean, this is what happens. It's like,
Mhm.
if you get called, if you're a minority and you claim that the other guy called you a slur, right? Well,
Yeah,
then
you
it's
win.
blank check,
Yeah,
blank check to do whatever you want.
And anti-Semitism is like an ace card, though.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Trumps everything else.
all right. So what else is in the bill? This is the good part.
I mean,
I didn't finish my sentence.
oh yeah, go ahead.
It allows the Trump administration with Congress's signature, because it's their bill,
Yes, right.
to ignore the courts without a punishment. They have no enforceable mechanism for getting him in trouble for contempt of court. And because Congress is the one that gave him this blank check, they also can't impeach him over it.
Does it remove their jurisdiction on these issues, or they're de facto remove their jurisdiction?
It only removes their ability to enforce their own decisions.
Oh, it's even better, actually.
But you know what I mean? So
because it deals with the ones they've already made.
Well, that's the other thing, is it's retroactive. It actually says it in the line that it's any injunction related to these issues going backwards too.
How about like the Supreme Court
they
ruling?
Can currently ignore all the stuff with the judge in Minnesota or New Mexico
or Boasberg. Or
they can ignore all.
Well, because what the Supreme Court did with the Enemy Aliens Act was not. I mean, it wasn't them issuing a ruling. It just was them refusing to issue a stay of the injunction.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they're just basically punting and letting the process play out. But this would mean that would be back and forth. It doesn't matter what their ruling is.
Yeah, they can make their own decision about how. Well,
the Supreme Court can still rule, but none of these lower courts can.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it can play out.
Well, they can rule, but it's just like giving an opinion that has no enforceable element to it.
The Supreme Court?
The lower courts.
Lower courts, yeah, okay. Yeah, the Supreme Court would be like the logjam at this point. And then you would have to go Andrew Jackson, because like you've already gotten Congress's permission to do all these things, right? Because that's what the bill is.
They made a deal with the Supreme Court too on this.
Maybe,
they were aware of.
Oh no, CJ, the Supreme Court is above politics. They would never do such things. Yeah. Okay. But like that's the thing. People like, because I see these people like, he's not deporting anybody. He's never going to do anything. He loves H-1Bs. He loves. It's like, oh, all right. These people.
Can you imagine if? I mean, and Pete Hegseth is still working on the Pentagon, right? He's still trying to clean house. But can you imagine if he tried to go full bore, 50 million deportations on day one? Do you think the military would listen to him?
No.
There's no mechanism.
You have to fire all the generals to do that.
Yes, he cannot facilitate that. So it takes years to structure everything for deportations like people want.
Yeah.
And you have to have all of these things in play. You have to have all of the dominoes set up in the exact arrangement in order to knock down that first one.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. It's like, it isn't just like, oh, well, the president, if he's the president, he can do whatever he wants and everyone has to listen to him. And it's like, did you not watch his entire first term?
Yeah.
Did you not see how that went? Do you think it was because he didn't have the will to do this stuff? It's like, no, you don't know how
they all ignored him.
Things actually work.
They literally didn't report intelligence to him. He had no idea what was going on.
He didn't have any idea that the United States had troops in Syria.
Yeah.
They lied to him. And he has no mechanism to be able to like, well, we should line up those generals against a wall and shoot them. Right. He can't do that.
Right.
I mean, a leader with actual power could. He doesn't have it. People did not realize how emasculated and neutered the office of the presidency is in a managerial regime. Right. Now, when the president is aligned with the regime, or his administration is, you get things like Biden's administration where they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But when it's opposed to the managerial regime, it has very tiny little bits of power that it can wield. And truth be told, he's doing that.
Yes.
Right. He's doing everything he can.
So did you know this bill also eliminates all SNAP benefits for illegals? Anyone that's on asylum, anyone whose here's the other thing. If there's someone whose green card expired like a year ago and they're still here, they have to pay back their SNAP benefits too. So okay, but people talk about this, right? you want to get
Incredible.
voluntary leaving first,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So if you cannot function, so you go out to a park or Costco or all these grocery stores, and you wonder, how are all these people surviving?
Yeah.
Like, how do they get paid?
Yeah.
It's SNAP benefits.
It's like, you're paying for it, buddy.
Like, did you know?
dead.
Did you know that there's billions of dollars that flows to these illegals via SNAP?
Oh, yeah.
And Trump just shut that down overnight. Is that
Yeah.
not worth
Yeah.
this bill going through in itself?
It'll pay for itself eventually.
So any refugees, this includes people who are currently on asylum, who are here legally. They don't get SNAP benefits anymore. Refugees, asylum people, and then anyone with a suspended.
But people with
Deport-
green cards still get it.
Yeah, but the stakes are high because the penalties for fraud or overstaying it are like vicious on it too.
Like immediate deportation.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not good. I mean,
So-
that's like one of the first things that has to be done. Like, you want to talk about like balancing the budget.
Yeah, that's
Anyone who is not a
huge.
U.S. citizen,
Yes,
totally ineligible for all benefits, including public school.
but
Right?
what I'm
Like,
saying is
then they'll go.
they're on the SNAP benefits. They're not just pursuing illegal immigrants. They're actually pursuing refugees.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you're actually here for an actual threat of life, then you should be okay with this. But they're not. They're here to get free money, and this turns it off.
Oh, it's incredible.
The other thing that it does is it undermines the CHIP system, you know, the children's health insurance stuff,
Yeah.
and it basically rips away any benefits that they have if they're not citizens as well. So even the children, so what happens is the children come here, they're anchor babies, they're allowed to receive all of this, all this stuff, but that's getting turned off too, and so the families can't live off of that either. So that's like another huge aspect to this is the CHIP thing. I don't know if you read about that. So when the press is calling Trump out for like undermining Medicaid beneficiaries, it's all illegals and refugees and asylum seekers and all that. That's what's going on there.
I can't turn this off. There we go. Oh, come on. I'm trying to read the comments on my phone. Where are they? Okay. There we go.
What are you
Someone
reading?
doesn't like it's spelled Roy Cohn. Cohn. That's not Cohen, like the Cohen brothers. No, let's talk about Roy Cohn a little bit more. Like, yeah, the guy's a degenerate, totally. But I like guys that are on our side. I know I can't turn this off.
Put your finger over the speaker.
Where's the speaker? Okay. I'm
What
just
are you-
reading the
What are you looking at? Comments?
Yeah, I'm reading the comments. Hold on. Cybertrucks are hideous. Yes. these are so good. Anyway, keep going, CJ, while I laugh at the comments.
No, I mean like the chip and the snap. I don't think people realize the snap thing is just as big of a deal as anything else. Like you're talking billions of dollars in flow of money
It's
that's
still
just
going.
going to all of these non-citizens. The other thing that it does is right now. Okay, so right now there's a detention carve out for how much ICE basically is allowed to spend on detentions.
Yeah.
And right now they get a carve out of like $3 billion a year on detentions.
As of 2024, the 2024 budget.
Yeah, this bill gives them $45 billion in detention allocations.
So it's almost 10x.
Well, but here, yes,
No, it's more than 10x.
it's way more than 10x. But here's the thing: 45 billion. But there's also a provision in the bill that says if you're waiting for the decision on asylum, you have to stay in Mexico. So that money is going to go to these massive camps, basically.
Yeah.
To hold these asylum seekers. Now, if you're going to travel up from Honduras and be stuck in a camp in Mexico,
You're not going to
do
go.
you think you're going to come up to
No.
America and seek asylum?
No.
No. Here's the
No.
other thing. All right. In order to apply for asylum, which used to be free, all of these asylum seekers now have to pony up $1,000 to even apply
Which
per person, not per family. A family of
Yeah.
5 that comes up from El Salvador,
Yeah.
that's $5,000.
El Salvador is a paradise now, so they're not leaving
Okay, Honduras.
there. But you know what I mean? Like, what's the
So
median
hold on.
income of Honduras?
Yeah, I don't know. $10,000, less than that.
Yeah.
For these asylum seekers,
That's a huge amount of money.
that is a huge amount of money. I mean, like most Americans couldn't find $5,000 to pay that.
What is most Americans?
I got more for you too, man. So
yeah, keep going, keep going,
I have been autistic on this bill.
keep going. Yeah,
All right, so they have to pony up $1,000. Here's the other thing: for the first time,
$13,000
that's the median
of Honduras.
Yeah, so they don't have $1,000. That's $5,000 for a family or whatever. 3 kids.
You have to save for,
Yeah.
and these are people that supposedly are like fleeing for their
Yes.
lives
Yeah.
and everything else.
Now, before, not only was it free to apply, but while the government was making its decision, they could work here at least.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You're not allowed to work here. You're not allowed to receive any money while you're waiting for asylum.
And if you, it's like a felony, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a misdemeanor.
Under this bill.
Yeah. Under this bill, it's a felony
Yes.
to pay them
Yes.
or for them to work.
Yes. So, and here's the other thing. While they're waiting for a response on their application, they have to pay an annual renewal fee. and they cut the number of asylum reviewers in half. So there's going to be like 6 or 7 years of waiting, and you have to pay renewal fees. Like, there's like the asylum system is getting shut down.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And you're telling me this is not worth it? Like that's huge because these are legal immigrants.
Yeah.
Like these have the authorization of the seditious United States
What's
government.
$2 trillion divided by 350 million?
That's, I don't know. I'm not a math whiz. You do it.
I don't know. Like, is that like $300? I don't know. I can't do math in my head. You keep going.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a huge one. Where else does it do? Oh, so right now it gives,
Here we go.
it has provision for enough wages. Like, it allocates enough for the ICE to hire 65,000 new employees. So how many people are employed by ICE right now?
All right, it's nearly $6,000 per American.
Let's see.
Per American. So I got a family of 8. Would I personally pay like $50,000 for Donald Trump to have these powers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would.
Here's another thing. It allows for around 60 to 65,000 new ICE officers.
What's the current
20,000
staffing level of ICE right now?
20,000.
So it would
quadruple
ICE.
ICE. Creates, yeah. So I mean, these are all things that are part of.
And so
it.
if ICE
People don't know this. People just hear that it's an outrageous spending bill. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah. They just think, and it's like, okay, what stuff do we? And it's funny that like think about the reason why they're not hearing it is because like Congress and even like the Democrats and stuff, they don't want to admit that they've been bought off.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
yes, that's what I've been saying.
They don't want to admit they've been bought off.
That's what this bill is.
To actually do mass deportations.
Look, Congress sees dollars, they vote for it.
Right? That's right.
And so they're like, so here's the carrot.
Yeah.
And all these little things are in there.
Dude, like you have to understand that Congress is a bunch of crackheads and our money is the crack.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump is saying, here's some crack.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me this little thing that I want.
Yes.
And they go nuts.
Yes. And it's like, look, that's what Congress is.
Yeah.
Congress is not your friend.
No.
You can't depend on them.
You should think of your congressman as a crackhead.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Yes, you should.
If you learn anything today on Contramundum, everyone in Congress is a crackhead. Some of them actually are.
That's true.
Some have been hanging out with Hunter Biden.
Mitch McConnell is doing the Here's another thing that it now provides. So there's certain exceptions when it comes to removal of immigrants called expedited removal.
Yes.
It vastly expands who qualifies for expedited removal. I'm just looking at my notes here. Oh, okay. So usually there was a cap. Like if you've been here for like 2 years or less, you are subject to an expedited removal.
Yeah.
It removes the ceiling completely. So someone could be here for 15 years. They're subject to expedited removal.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
It's all in here.
This really is a big, beautiful bill.
Additionally, one of the tenets of expedited removal was they had to be suspected of a crime. Now they just have to be suspected of national security threat.
That's a pretty broad.
Yes,
thing.
and this and Stephen Miller defines national security as like replacement migration.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, it is.
yes,
It is.
and they have the right to do it without a hearing.
Yeah.
Under this bill. So like they're basically eliminating the due process.
Yeah,
You know, like
Congress is voting to get
Yes.
rid of the.
yes. Okay, here's another thing that it does. It mandates that in order to have local funding for police, the ICE is allowed to demand the police, coordinate with ICE.
Yeah.
So
So the mayor of Nashville
Yes.
was going to lose all police funding
Mhm.
if, or like same with Jacob
Well, they-
Frey in Minneapolis.
stuff like
Right.
that. Yeah.
They're gonna lose all their police funding.
Well, what it allows is for local police officers like and sheriffs and stuff
Yeah.
to work directly with ICE without getting state permission.
That's right.
That's what
yeah.
it's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's another part of
California,
this bill. Yes.
everywhere else.
Where
Yeah.
they're like in
yeah.
LA, there's great sheriffs, right? But
Yeah.
working with Newsom's impossible.
Of
So-
course. Yeah.
So that's another thing this does.
What's
Like,
the way to same in Minnesota?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Another thing that it does is in order to even maintain a work visa here, you have to have an annual fee of $1,000.
Good.
So it's like an extra tax on
That's a-
non-citizens.
That's good. Like let's make it 10,000.
Yeah, but like still, like if you're making 25 grand a year and trying
Yeah.
to survive in, like these liberal cities that are very expensive,
Yeah. Just
you
go
now
back
have
to
an additional
Bangalore.
tax.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
might be 10% of your income,
Yeah. Yeah.
5% of your
Well,
income.
yeah, you saw with these H-1B like over Christmas, right? When people are going through the H-1B things, they're not making that much money.
No, so now they have an additional $1,000 a year penalty.
good.
Well, and it's $550 per 6 months.
Yeah.
So you can't
Good.
wait till the end of the year and leave
Good.
or something.
Good.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I was reading this blog on like immigration rights, and it was saying stuff like, now even penniless refugees must pay a steep sum to have their claims even heard. Like that's what I voted for.
That's got what I voted for again.
Yes.
Dude, it was great.
Yeah, there's like it's just a whole list of just white pills after white pills, and like you need to call your congressman and tell him to push this through. This is huge.
Yeah, we should call John Rose right now.
Yeah,
Say,
he's
"All right,
probably
Mr.
already
Rose."
on board.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's not a crackhead.
No. Now they're also
CJ doesn't want to comment on that.
yeah, no comment. They're also eliminating like the TPS, like just a broadband.
Good.
Eliminating that. If anyone does seek TPS protection, they have to pay a $500 application fee and then a $500 annual fee. Like, you think these Haitians in Springfield are going to be able to pay that? Nope.
Yeah, they're eating dogs and cats,
And
man.
they're not allowed to take that money from like charities or anything like that because they'll get the spotlight on them too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're
This is
just
great.
closing all the doors. Like
Oh,
that's
this is so
huge.
good.
Mhm.
So good. Oh, but the debt, CJ, the debt.
Yeah, it's like it's not 1995.
Yeah.
Like it's
Newt-
over.
Newt Gingrich lost.
Yeah.
Even though he
And look,
won.
I wish we had balanced the budget in 1980.
Absolutely.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
I'm not anti financial prudence.
Well, yeah, I don't like, and that's the thing. Like when I talk about this stuff, I don't want the United States to go broke.
Mhm.
Right? That is bad.
Yeah,
That is, I mean, even if we have the best case scenario of when it happens,
Mhm.
it's going to be really bad.
Mhm.
But that's already baked in the cake. That's you let everybody vote.
Mhm.
That's what you get,
Yes.
right? You want democracy, you're getting it good and hard,
Yes.
and your grandkids are going to get it good and hard,
Now,
right?
I saved the best.
Mass violence. That's what's going to happen.
So I saved the best for last. I didn't really. I mean, in my opinion, the best is that the Trump administration can ignore the courts. That's my favorite.
Oh, I think so.
But
Yeah.
another one that's cool is they're adding sponsorship liability.
Really,
Yes,
dude?
So if an NGO,
I was posting about this.
I know, I'm reading our Twitter feed. I know. So if an NGO
Yes.
sponsors an immigrant that comes in here and he does any damage whatsoever, that NGO is financially liable.
Oh. Goodbye, Hebrew immigration.
And
Goodbye, Lutheran Social Services.
and it forces these sponsors to post $5,000 bonds before their children are released or whatever, criminals are released or whatever.
Goodbye, Catholic Charities.
Like,
it's over for you.
This is a very important bill.
Oh, this makes me hate the people that are opposing it even more.
Yeah.
Right. This has to happen.
And I think in a different world, like Thomas Massey and Rand Paul, they'd probably be okay with some of this stuff. Like, this is an existential series of initiatives.
Yes.
And it needs to happen.
Yes. Like, there's not going to be a country left for you to care about whether the budget is balanced or not, unless this happens. Right. That's the point that we're at.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I wish it was still, even 2012 in the heyday of the Ron Paul days, right? That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah. We were all mad about Obama and the stimulus and
if they had acted
bailouts
correctly in 2008, we could have still done something.
Yes. Yes. Those days are over. And right, we have to deal with the problems as they are. And give the crackheads their crack so we can secure the border and do mass deportations.
Yes. Here's another thing it does. It's only 5%, but it's a start. 5% tax on remittances.
That's way better than 0%.
Yeah. So, you send $20,000 back home. 4,000 of that is going to the government.
Is that 5? No, that's 20%. You are bad at math.
I am bad at math. $1,000.
That'd be $1,000. Yeah. Let's get it up to 25%, man. Let's get it up to 25%. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful, man.
What else is
beautiful?
there?
It is a big, beautiful bill.
Yes. I mean,
I love this.
You should read this blog. Is so funny because they're
losing their minds over it. Yeah.
It also reallocates resources for ICE away from administrative tasks and into straight up deportations.
Oh yes, yes. So all the pencil pushers are gonna have to put on a vest and go out there.
It allows ICE funds to be like locally allocated. So an ICE office in a certain place can allocate funds directly to a sheriff.
That's great. Yeah, so they become much more flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
It's got special targeting for sanctuary cities and sanctuary policies. This is an immigration Trojan horse bill. That's all it is.
All right. So the one like critique,
all right,
of the big beautiful bill that I probably agree with a little bit. Again, I'm not going to oppose it. Is all the stuff with Palantir.
Yes.
Right. Talk to me about that.
You know me.
Yeah, man, me too.
I'm a huge AI guy.
Oh gosh. Yeah. You are.
All right. Here's my take on that.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. I don't like Palantir at all. I don't like any of them.
Yeah, we're not taking any teal bucks.
There's no world in which this is not coming.
Yeah.
I want to gamble the future on the immigration. And I'm willing to do it because you're not stopping this any more than you're going to get Congress to cut the budgets.
Yeah.
Be financially prudent. It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't.
But I don't think that should stop because here's the thing. You can reverse those things later on. Maybe you can undermine the systems. Maybe, but you at least have a nation to do it.
It's tough, man.
I don't think we're gonna get an opportunity like this again with immigration.
No, this is the last shot.
I don't like it, Palantir at all. I also think.
Well, it's still really unclear to me what it exactly does. What other than like creating a database on?
Oh, the Palantir thing.
Every American.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I don't really understand. Other than that's spooky and scary. I don't like it.
It's inevitable.
Yeah,
you can't.
If they don't do it, it's going to be someone else, and it's going to be somebody else even worse.
Yeah, I just don't see a world where these things are not going to come into reality.
Yeah.
And this isn't even like a Machiavellian answer. I'm not saying we might as well control it. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of them.
Yeah.
What I would say is like, blessed are those that have land.
Yeah.
That's literally my view.
Yeah. I mean, I guess on that point, I mean, this is something we were talking about earlier in the office today. But Actually, what time is it? Oh man, we have to do an ad. We've been going on.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about the big beautiful bill forever. On that note, that we're gonna get into something like we're gonna get into the future. And does Donald Trump see the future? Right. But before we do, we're gonna play an ad.
Where's Gary?
If you're like me, you grew up on beef jerky. It was a must-have for any road trip. But most beef jerky is loaded with sugar, soy, and nitrates. Ew. Farmer Bill's is a Christian-owned meat snacks company in South Dakota that offers pasture-raised meat snacks. They make biltong. It's like beef jerky, but air-dried with clean ingredients and way better. The pre-sliced biltong is perfect for protein on the go, and the slab is great for snacking or hosting a party. It's like a large, dry-aged ribeye with perfect marbling of fat.
Go to farmerbillsprovisions.com or click the link in the description below and use code CONTRA to save 20% off your order today.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
Summer's Pet Treats makes all-natural dog treats using high-quality, human-grade ingredients.
Every ingredient is carefully selected for a specific nutritional value, which means they're healthy.
Ben, are you eating the treat?
Yeah, dude, I got that dog in me.
I don't think that's what they meant by human-grade ingredients, but hey, if you want to support a Christian-owned business that believes in the Dominion mandate, then go pick up some healthy dog treats at summerspetTreats.com.
And use code NCP10 at checkout. That's summerspetTreats.com and use code NCP10.
Get that dog in you. Well, hey, everybody, consider this your official invite to join us here in Ogden, Utah for our annual New Christendom Press Conference this June 12th to the 14th. We're going to be having a great time. Lots of great speakers, live episode of the King's Hall, live episode of Haunted Cosmos. I'll be putting on a concert, a singles mixer, a pastor's breakfast, a business mixer, a VIP hangout. We've got it all. And you need to go to newchristendompress.com/2025, link in the description, to get tickets and more information. We hope to see you there. What are you waiting for?
Yes, now we're back.
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
Okay. We need Gary to get back here.
I
So
ordered 6 packs of the slabs.
Gary's gonna get 12 hours of paternity leave.
Yeah,
He's got to be back.
yeah. He actually needs to check in.
We
with
should,
us in
yeah, we
half
should
an
give
hour.
him. We should give him some Farmer Bills for paternity leave. Maybe some dog treats too
For what?
to munch on, just like
Just to
Ben
munch on?
in the ad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right. Maybe he'll do a trick for us.
yeah. Well, Gary. I mean, maybe we don't want to dox him, but Gary's got some pooches. He's got some dogs,
Yeah.
so that would be a good gift. Good.
Well, I
know.
thought you meant for Gary.
Well, I mean, if he wants to eat him too, he can.
Like he could do a backflip or something.
Oh
and we
yeah, yeah. He's pretty athletic. We need to tweak the DNA a little bit, and make the newest Gary even more athletic.
Who's the new Gary?
Gary 6. Were you here for?
No. Was I?
Yeah, you just weren't paying attention.
Oh no.
Anyway,
All right, my presentation is over.
the presentation of
So what did you mean by can Trump see the future? What does that mean?
well, like so here's the thing.
Like the cube thing, like the Baron Trumps? I was like,
yeah, that's right. That he's a time traveler and he knows what's going to happen. No, like, all right. So if like you and I and most of the people in the chat realize that universal mass democracy means America's going to go broke sooner or later, right? People are, if everybody gets to vote, not just the people that pay in, but everybody, and there are more recipients of tax money than there are payers, then inevitably the system's going to go broke,
Mhm.
right? Just basic math
it already is.
and basic human nature. And,
Like-
and it already is broke and everything else, but like totally broke. And so,
Well, 300 trillion obligation, like
Yeah, yeah,
dollars in obligations, right?
yeah, it's like,
Something like
okay,
that.
like something's going to happen. And there's going to be a day coming soon when there are checks that need to get cashed that there's no money in the account for,
Based.
right? That's going to happen. It is.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, Social Security, again, like 12 years out and it's broke. And they'll shuffle money around and do all sorts of things. But like at the end of the day, there's only so much shuffling you can do. There's only so many manipulations of the bond market you can do. So say, for sake of argument, that is 20 years from now, right? 2045. And we know it. I know it. You know it. Everybody in the chat knows it, except any like libs that might be trolling us. So if we know it, do you think Donald Trump knows it? Do you think all the people at the top of his administration know this?
Who's his Treasury Secretary?
Scott Bessent.
Yeah.
I think Scott Bessent knows this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so if you know, like, the train is heading down the tracks at full speed and the bridge is out and you're going to crash into the canyon and there are no brakes on this train. There's no way to stop it. Right. What do you do?
What do you do?
Right. You try to figure out a way to land that train in the canyon as softly as you can so some people can survive.
When that happens, do you want 150 million foreigners here?
Yeah. You have people from third world countries that are here for Gibbs.
If there's a sovereign debt crisis, who do you want around you?
Yeah.
People that hate you and have no connection to you, or some that might have a chance of actually,
or like actual
working
Americans,
together. Yeah.
Right? Americans that share the same culture, language, identity, history, right? People that are like you,
Yeah.
right? People that love this country, people that have fought for this country, people whose great grandparents are from this country. You want them, or do you want somebody from Suriname or Honduras or Guinea-Bissau, or like you name the third world country, right? Do you want them?
Yeah.
Right. What are they going to do when the Gibbs stop flowing? Right. If they're only here for the Gibbs and there's no more Gibbs.
Well, what are they doing now?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I know. And
can you imagine if their snap goes blank?
If they can't feed themselves,
yeah, this is
how violent they're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, no, exactly. And so you have to get your house in order. Like if it's baked into the cake that there is going to be a sovereign debt crisis in America within the next 20 or 30 years, then what do you need? Right. You need America to be able to go it alone in the world, right? You need to cut yourself off from the globalist system.
Is that what you're saying? Trump's anticipating the end of that entire system?
I think so.
That's what they're preparing for.
I think so. I think that's the entire point of this exercise. It isn't just merely like we need to have a strong sovereign America again. Like that's part of it. I think the other part of it is he knows, right? The world that, right? Well, how old's Barron Trump right now? 20, 19, 20?
20, something like that. Yeah.
Right. So when that world comes, he's going to be my age. Right. Does he want his 39-year-old son? I mean, he'll be dead by then. Does he want his 39-year-old son to inherit a world where it looks like, I mean, what would it look like? I mean, just mass violence everywhere, bombs, car bombs and things going off everywhere, shootings in the streets all day long, where there's just total chaos, right? Where millions of people are starving to death in our country.
Yeah.
And who knows what else is happening around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole world depends on us.
Yes. And if the whole world, and that's the thing, if the United States monetary system goes down, the entire world's goes down. And either we get ahead of it or we don't. And the way you get ahead of it is you jack up the tariffs massively to reshore American industry. So you're actually producing things here and you can survive alone. We have all the oil and gas we need.
So what you're saying is
we have all the natural resources we need.
So what you're saying is they're not just in a silo, like having a different view of how things should be produced. They're actually saying this system is not going to last. And on the other side of that collapse, we have to have something to build with.
Yeah, the only chance of America, not the American government, but America surviving is, one, it's populated by Americans.
So they're game planning.
And two,
a complete system overhaul. I mean, this is bigger than the collapse of the Soviet Union kind of stuff.
It would be. It absolutely would be. Yeah. And I mean, just look at what happened during the collapse of the Soviet Union. Like, the only reason
Well, during the collapse, they weren't producing anything anymore, right?
No, like the only reason you didn't have like tens of millions of people dying of famine is because people illegally grew food on their own property because the government didn't produce enough food, right? And they've been doing it for decades. If they had not been doing that, people would have starved to death. And like Americans do not have that level of resiliency or self-sufficiency whatsoever, right? Like if you know 1,000 people, maybe like one or two of them even have a vegetable garden, right? To grow some tomatoes.
It's like thundering outside. We're talking
is.
about the end of America.
It's
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, that's right. But like I think there's some foresight here involved.
Yeah, I think
especially on like trade and geopolitics and things like this. That if this is in the back of your head all the time, that America is going to go broke. What do you do if you care about your children and your grandchildren?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the fact that Trump has kids and grandkids makes him very, very, I mean, we almost had a president.
Well, you got in trouble for talking about this.
I did.
Yeah.
Like, that we almost had a president that has no natural descendants and has no natural connection to this country
or its
at
future,
all.
Right.
Right. To its past or its future. And do you think, I mean, she doesn't matter because she's like, her administration would just be the Obama's fourth term. Maybe it's the same administration. And do those people care about, do they care at all about the future of America? No, not at all. Right. Americans are tax cows for them to live off of and all of their, massive corporate interests to live off of. Right. That's all America is. And they don't care about the people of this country. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so I think he actually does. And I think he knows that we're headed toward disaster and that the only way to survive it is if you can keep things running. I mean, just look at how messed up things were from a minor disruption of the global supply chain in 2020. I mean, for years, like we tried to buy a 12-passenger van, a new one. And I maybe told this story in here a few times in like 2022. And they told us, it'd be like 6 months and then it'll be ready for you. We put a deposit down. And after 6 months, call them up and like, hey, gonna get that van anytime soon? And it's like, yeah, it's gonna be another 12 months.
Yeah.
And it's like,
no, I know.
It's going to be a different model year. It's going to be 2 different model years by the time we get this van. And so like we just asked for our deposit back and just went and bought a used one at the same price of a new one. And because car seat laws are the way they are, you got to have a regular minivan wasn't going to work for us anymore. That's the other thing. Like
it's a whole nother.
Car seat laws are responsible for a portion of our low birth rates.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
No, I believe you, yeah.
It for real, it is. Like you could track the causation. But anyway, I mean, it's not like I don't want my like baby in a car seat, but like, do I need can I just put my 3-year-old in a buckle?
No,
no, it's legal.
In California, they have to be like 7.
Yeah. No, yeah. You just kind of wrap them in bubble wrap and so anyway, it's, that's just like one aspect of the economy. And all it was is like, oh, we can't get the right computer chips, right? We could build all the vans, but can't get the computers. They're all made in Taiwan and that's all messed up right now. And so you think about that, like one component in every industrial process gets disrupted and the ripple through the entire economy is there. Now imagine a world in which all of it's shut down and it's only America. Right. Everything has to be made here in order for the economy to function.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're talking 50 million people dead of starvation, probably within a year or 2 years. Right. I mean, the trucks that bring everybody's food break down, the tractors do and everything. Like you can't refine enough fuel. Like, I mean, just think of all of the problems that would happen. And so to become a substantially more autarkic is like a major priority for the survival of the nation.
Yeah.
It isn't just like, oh, we love free trade because, goods passing over borders is good. And it broadens out the division of labor. And so it makes things cheaper. And it's like,
It's not 1820 anymore.
and
It's that like,
and the world doesn't work like in an economics textbook,
Mhm.
right? Human beings are involved, right? Individually and collectively, right? Nations are a real thing. And people care about, like, maybe people in America don't care about their nation, but everybody everywhere else, they care about theirs.
people care.
And
Yeah,
and people
our leaders don't care, but
Yeah, our people
the
care.
American people care.
And so, yeah, like,
I hate to do this.
we got to get going.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm waxing poetic about the end of America.
Let me just ask you one more question.
Okay.
What's the future of the Musk wing versus the Miller wing of the Trump movement?
I don't know. I mean, I think Elon could come back, but not the same way. After this jimp out.
In my opinion, this whole thing signifies.
You're not going to drink this martini?
No, you can have it.
All right.
That Trump had to make a decision between Miller and Musk.
Yeah.
Because like it's the same decision that he had to make when he chose Mike Waltz to go instead of Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing that's happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he did or how he did it, but he trusts Stephen Miller with his entire legacy, reputation, and life.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going with.
Well, I think it's because immigration, I mean, it all goes back to the golden elevator in 2015, man. Like, immigration was his issue.
Yeah.
And there is nobody in America that gets the issue better than Stephen Miller does.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. And so that's why, right? That's why he has like the total implicit trust of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Because he gets it. He gets it at a higher level than anyone else.
Anyone else.
And so if it's a decision between Musk and Trump, and because you see like Musk saying like, well, he would have been in prison forever if it wasn't for me, which is like, yeah, maybe not. I mean, he helped for sure, right? He was very helpful. I mean, and like just like buying Twitter was massive.
It is
Huge.
It's called Twitter again.
Obviously, massive thing. But if at the flip side of that coin is if Donald Trump doesn't win, Elon is losing everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's losing Twitter. He's losing Tesla. He's losing SpaceX. He's losing everything.
So I think that if the Democrats get back in charge, Musk is screwed.
Yes.
So I think he has to come back with tail between his legs.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can kind of see starting to, it's like, well, we can kiss and make up and all these things. Like, he knows it. I mean, probably he got a phone call because they lost $14 billion in market cap yesterday.
Yeah. Got what I voted for.
Right. I'm sure he's getting a phone call from his lawyers like,
Yeah.
The shareholders are going to get rid of you if you don't shut up and get off the drugs and just shut up and play nice with Trump. Like, that those phone calls got made.
Oh yeah.
You don't lose $14 billion in a day and not make the people antsy a little bit.
Yes.
And so he's going to have to come back and play nice, but the alpha dog man is Donald Trump, not Elon Musk.
Yep.
And
all right,
that's the way it goes, man.
That was a good episode.
That was a great episode. All right. Well, if you want more content, where should the people go?
To contramundumpod.com, where we will eventually have.
We are going to have, like, we keep delaying it, but we've been doing work on it, and your patience is appreciated because we don't want to slop things together.
The 20th century is a long century,
and there's so much stuff like I mean, this is like people get after like Daryl for like he's like, I'm going to do this big series on like Germany's perspective on the Second World War, and after like 8 months, he's released one episode. And like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And it's like, the more you read, the more you're like, oh, I thought I knew this as really, really well, and I don't. So it's like, you've seen that like chart where it's like, the confidence, and then you like the overcome, then you fall off the cliff, and then like we're finally making our way back up to feeling confident enough. Like right now, I'm confident enough in all the things I don't know, and it requires a massive amount of research. I mean, if you wanted us to just like AI slop it together and ask Grok, we could do that. But it requires a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of thinking through this stuff and being able to digest it and have something we can present to people. And so it's going to be a little bit longer, but I think, do you want to make any promises in 2 weeks after we get back from Ogden? We can get episode 1 going. Yeah.
We should do something live. We'll do something live.
Yeah,
in
they
Utah.
said they're doing a live thing. Maybe we should just crash the King's
That's what I
Hall
was
and
thinking.
take it over. And it's like, this is not King's Hall anymore. This is Contramundum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we should just do that.
Lock the door, and then we get on stage and we do our live.
Yeah, it's
show.
like we are the captain now.
Yes.
Right, I'm from Minnesota.
Let's do that.
I know some things about Somalia.
Can you imagine if we did that?
We would never be invited back.
No, but we sell a lot of subscriptions.
Yeah, you got that going for us.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, donate money. Oh, we had some super chats. Hold on. We have to get to the super chats. I saw them pop up.
I got it.
Gary's not here. Okay. Q told me, this is Von Brighoff Go Hard. Q told me that Elon's getting sent to Gitmo. I trust Q on this one.
Fact check by True American Patriots.
True. All right, Jeremy Kearns, $1.99. Tech Bros and Libertarians' hardest hit.
True.
Fact check, also true.
Yep, and that's it.
That's all we got for today. All right. Well, if you want to be featured in the postscript of Contramundum next time, send your super chats.
Very affordable.
Yeah, it's we're a cheap date. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful, victorious, big, beautiful Bill Trump weekend. Stay peacefully dangerous, and we will see you next time. I got really good stretch. Okay, where is it? Okay.
This is premium content.
Goodbye.